Welcome to the first 10 Minutes with podcast. And thank you very much for joining me. You're going to be pretty much just training me through this as my first podcast, man. But so let's start with, why don't you tell everyone who you are and what you're about? What do you do?
Thanks. Thank you very much for the invite. My name's Ferhan. I'm an implant dentist, and I'm based up in Scotland. But to be honest, I work all around the UK, carrying out the dental treatment, specifically implants.
Okay.
And that's probably it. My focus is implant dentistry, but I'm a really, keen and a passion for education, teaching, and mentoring.
Wicked. I mean, this is kind of why I wanted to get you on, because you're somebody who's a business owner, you're somebody who's travels in dentistry, and someone who's really busy during all of this. So I thought, I want to kind of pick your brain, get your thoughts, and a big part of this podcast is we're just distilling it down to trying to get it to under 10 minutes if we can, just to cut out the fluff and get your advice. We're going to talk about things like COVID generally. We're going to talk about business, dentistry, and well-being as well. Well, let's start with that. So we are at a stage where we're about 7 days into lockdown, and there's been about 1,200 deaths in the UK now, about 200 people a day dying now. And, this is going to have a major effect on us. What's your thoughts on everything that's going on at the moment?
To be honest, it really is what it is. We have to do our little bit to help in any way we can. A lot of the situation's been forced upon us as in terms of our work, so we're not working. But I'm quite fortunate. I also have a medical degree, and I've been put back on the medical register temporarily. Okay. So I'm just waiting on a call. But up in Scotland, certainly the hospitals are nowhere near in the situation that what it's like down in the Midlands and further south in the country. Yeah. So I haven't had a call yet, but I suspect as things progress, if it gets worse, then, I will be called and asked to help. Wow. Now, the registration I was put on automatically. I could have opted out, but I'm keen to get involved and help in any way I can. Yeah. But maybe, if we think about what's happening in Italy and Spain, certainly the center of the pandemic, the disease is in a certain part of Italy, and it's the same in Spain, Madrid. And I think what it looks like now is that the main sort of bulk of the cases are down the south of England. Okay. So maybe maybe we won't get it as bad as other areas. We wait and see.
How are you feeling about going back and doing some medicine?
I'm excited in a weird way. I've not found or looked at my stethoscope yet, but I'm pretty excited.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I've been out of medicine since 2014. Okay. So it's been just over 5 years. So, but to be honest, it's like dentistry. If you're out of it for a while, the basic stuff you never lose. You never lose it.
Yeah, and you're still kind of quite hands-on with things and sedation and things at the moment.
So. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Amazing. And so, well, tell us a little bit, how's this affected your business, and what have you done to kind of try and minimize the impact, or if that's even possible?
Big impact in my business, obviously. I'm a partner. We've got 6 practices.
Wow, 6.
Scotland.
Okay.
So they're closed.
Yeah.
We have around 20 plus dental associates that work within the group, and then support staff, somewhere in the region of 50. So it's a big,
that's huge,
big problem.
Yeah. Man,
so we've obviously had to think about how we're going to manage this, how we're going to think about long term, what impact, and it's really week to week. And obviously we've been listening out to the financial packages that are being made available by central government and by the NHS and the sort of the health board up in Scotland, which is different to the healthcare system down in England. So that's what we've been waiting on. There is support there, but really it's not enough.
Okay. So what kind of things what kind of things? So, I mean, one of the things that we're hearing a lot is, there's just the leadership in England has been quite poor, news trickling out. People aren't really sure what's going on. What kind of things would you want to see from leadership that would be useful for you to know, and that would help out your businesses and all these staff that you've got to kind of under your care, really?
So from a kind of head government point of view,
NHS England, CDOs,
they were pretty clear. The information was being rolled out you know,
Right.
slowing emergency only, and then a few days later close
Mm-hmm.
all practices. And now they've set up hubs. And yeah, I also have to appreciate it's not an easy job for them. It's not something that they've had to deal with in the past, so it takes a bit of time.
Okay.
But I think in Scotland they've certainly moved at speed to get things in place.
Great.
And you know, our dental practices have been closed for over a week,
And
that information was clear to us.
Great. And what's happening with the kind of urgent dental care things up in Scotland? Have centres opened yet?
Yep, centres have opened.
Great.
And the dentists within specific practices, all they're doing is triaging the patients.
Okay.
And then passing them over to these central centres.
Okay. And so what are you doing? I mean, with all the nursing staff at the moment, obviously, I'm guessing a lot of them are on furlough. Is that a concern for you longer term? You know, how you're going to be able to bring everyone back in and keep your business surviving at the end of this? Or is this something that you're feeling comfortable with at the moment?
I suppose, no, I think absolutely that it's the uncertainty, because I don't think the furlough scheme, it's clear yet how it's going to happen, how much money we're going to get, and does that impact actually the money that the health board are potentially going to give us, etc., etc. So there's a lot of questions that are unanswered. We wait and see.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. There's certainly anxiety when it comes to that. But you know, we've been in close contact with all the staff, not only the dental staff but the admin staff. Yeah. And staff morale is high, you know, and everybody understands this is a really unique situation, and we've all got to work together to get through it. And so morale is good within the team. And what we've found really useful, and we've just been on one, is we're doing 2 to 3 webinars a week with the team. Just keeping in touch with everybody and doing some sort of CPD.
Great. So communication's key, and just kind of keeping everyone in the loop for you regularly. Amazing. And so what's your thoughts on, I mean, we work in a field where in implant dentistry where, you know, we're improving patients' quality of life, but it's not an essential. So how do you think this will affect dentistry as a whole, or an implant dentistry? And I guess even for your businesses, do you think we'll see a change in how we view associates, or how many people you'll have as associates versus employed? What's your thoughts? So
quite interesting. I think NHS dentistry will come out of this, and it'll be busy. So the practice will be busy, and so our split is about 70% NHS, 30% private within the practice group.
Okay.
So I think there'll be loads of patients coming to see us in terms of NHS treatment, etc. Now, in 2008, we had the big recession. I wasn't doing implant work at that point, but colleagues that I know said that had a huge impact. And actually, that impact lasted a year. Now, I feel this will be worse.
Yeah.
And so I think when you're doing implant, I think there's going to be, and any kind of really private dentistry, there's going to be a real knock-on effect for us guys working primarily in the private sector and specifically doing implant work. I mean, that's what happened in 2008. I don't see why it would be any different in 2020.
And so what are you planning on doing personally to try and reduce that impact on you? Because obviously there'll still be some patients who need implant work, and you know, what are you going to do to try and minimize that impact, or what would you recommend people do to minimize that impact?
I'm quite fortunate in the situation that I work in so many different areas, from north of Scotland down to London. I'll travel.
That's crazy.
Patients and work with different dentists.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to be slightly shielded, and then obviously I focus a lot on education, involved in mentoring and running courses.
Yeah.
But it is, you know, and you've just got to accept it and think, well, what am I going to do to come out of this stronger? And so that's what I've really been working on in the last sort of a week to 10 days, is making myself as skilled as possible to manage the situation post us getting over this crisis.
Yeah, I mean, I've been seeing that you've been doing a lot of webinars and educational stuff, and you know, keeping people busy. I saw that you're involved with this kind of lockdown webinar series that people are doing. What's your thoughts behind it? How are you finding it? What kind of numbers are you getting? Do you find people are engaging with you, or do you feel like people are switched off and just kind of switching off from dentistry for a while?
For me, my greatest passion is education. It's
Okay.
simple.
Yeah.
I love teaching. I love being able to pass on the skills that I've learned from other mentors and
Hmm.
pass it on to other clinicians. So ultimately, we can improve patient care. So that's my why,
Okay.
and that's why I do it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are engaging in webinars or gaining CPD because this is a great opportunity now
Hmm.
to do it, because when we get back to work, then people are just going to want to work to sort of recoup some of the financial loss that they've encountered. So a
Okay.
lot of people, and we're so fortunate in this day and age where we can communicate with each other over the internet so easily, voice, video.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Okay.
And if you want to build an education platform for yourself or get your name known, then this is the time. You just got to put yourself out there and
Hmm.
engage. And you only need one other person to start something. That's all you need.
Yeah.
One other person. You
Yeah.
know, everyone started somewhere. So just like, and that's what I've done. I just went Facebook Live, just picked something and started talking about it.
Yeah.
And I get maybe, I don't know, 50 to 70 people tuning in. But
Incredible.
you know
Yeah.
what? I do it for one person.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. I mean, I sat in on one of yours and I learned a lot. So I thought it was very useful, man. Very good. And what other things are you going to work on, do you think, in the next year then? What's your plans in the next year? I mean, in dentistry and in teaching and things like that.
Okay, so I'm writing a book.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
What's
So
it?
my
What's
aim
that
is to get
about?
my book out. Yeah. So my aim is to get my book out in 8 weeks,
Okay. Eight
and so
weeks.
that's
Very
what I've
good.
really been concentrating on. So
Okay.
I'm doing some teaching myself. I'm getting involved in learning,
Yeah.
and I'm writing my book. So my book
Okay.
is focusing on the skills required to excel in surgery.
Okay.
So it's looking at the mindset of a
Uh-huh.
clinician and what are the
Okay.
keys of that mindset to make you excel.
Okay.
So that's
Amazing.
taking a lot of my time. So that's what I'm doing
I
at
bet
the
it is. Yeah.
moment. Yeah. So, and I think we should all focus on improving ourselves. You know, so we can look back and go, oh, there was this crisis, we didn't work for 2 or 3 months, and I
Yeah.
did this. What you don't want to do is look back and go, oh yeah, I just sat and watched Netflix and I did
Yeah.
this and just, you know, it's fine. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a good opportunity. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
spending time with kids. I've got two kids, a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old. I'm spending time at home, which is great.
Uh-huh.
But for me, my work
Yeah.
is a huge part of my life, and I need to be
Yeah.
working. This is my way of continuing that. So I can't do the clinical work,
Mm-hmm.
but I can do, you know, the education and the writing side of
Yeah.
things. So that's what I'm really, really focusing on. And to be honest, a
Yeah.
week's flown by for me,
Yeah. I
and
bet.
I'm okay. You know, another. It can go on. I've got so much to be doing.
You're busy. You're busy. So,
Yeah.
well, let's move on to well-being then. So, obviously, you know, there's a lot of anxiety going on. A lot of people stressed at home. Probably kind of financial things going on. What kind of things are you doing to kind of keep your mind kind of calm through all of this? And kind of do, you know, is it fitness things? Is it reading more? We were just before all this talking
Yeah.
about kind of Gary V, and you were recommending one of his books. What kind of things are you doing, and what kind of tips would you have for people to keep their kind of well-being?
So I run
Mm-hmm.
5, 6 times a week. So I did a 15-kilometer run this morning with another colleague. So
Okay.
I go out running most days,
Yeah.
and I was someone that would go to the gym quite frequently. So the
Okay.
gyms are closed. I have to find a substitute, and running is my substitute. So I'm out running every morning
Okay.
at 7 o'clock in the morning. So get the run out of the way, and that gets my day started.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Audible.
Yep.
So I listen to a lot of audiobooks, some
Mm-hmm.
great, you know, and it's
Any tips?
not fiction, non-fiction. Yeah, some
None.
absolutely fantastic people to listen to. Guys like Tim Ferriss,
Yep.
Seth Godin,
Yep.
uh, Gary V, as we've spoken about,
Uh-huh.
uh, Napoleon Hill. There's
Yep.
classic. A lot of my focus in reading has been mindset and personal development.
Yeah.
One, it's a subject that I'm really interested in, and secondly, I'm hoping to write this book about, you know, transferring or finding out what skills are required that I feel are required for us to excel in our individual careers as dentists. So I've been doing a lot of research, but audiobooks, immense. And then YouTube. I watch a lot of videos on YouTube.
Wicked. Man, that's so much information from that like small little section there. So thank you very much for your time, and thanks for doing this.
Pleasure.